Myth and legend delight our senses. Doubt truth to be a liar, you'll end up on the pyre. Where does the truth lie?
By the last breath of fall winds that blow, I'll have revenge upon Fortunato. Smile in his face, a second let us go of a cask of Amontillado. Sheltered inside from the cold of the snow, follow me now to the vault down below, drinking the wine as we laugh at the time, which is passing incredibly slow. Thank you. I at one point dreamed of becoming a singer in a rock band. It's a pipe dream now, but I like to sing whenever I can, whenever the mood fits it. And a sun shower on a golden October day like this seemed warrant for some singing. That, and October is the Halloween month. Just right for some grim, dark humor and macabre melodies. Oh, by all means, you can sit down. I wouldn't mind the company. You got coffee too? Yep. I had to. It's a tradition for me at this point. Every time October rolls around to get a pumpkin spice. At least once or twice in the month when I have the time. But I love this time of year. It's so golden. It's magical. The harvest is in. And yet, there are those lingering edges, that strange, eerie sense of foreboding. Even in the broad daylight. Like you're being watched. Like the eyes of strange, eerie things are upon you. Have you ever felt that?
You don't recognize me? I'm Carter. I'm your neighbor.
What the hell?
I guess neighbors on the lower stairs are cleaning. But yeah, I'm your neighbor. We live in the same apartment complex. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been kind of a shut-in lately. I've been working on a project of mine for my sister. But since it was so nice outside today with the golden October weather and the sun shower, I figured I'd get a little fresh air in and clear my head a bit before I go back to the indoors and get back on the project that I'm working on. I mean, if you want to get technical, it's kind of a project, but it's also a learning experience. Because my sister's expecting, and as a baby shower gift... What the hell are the neighbors gossiping about now? Anyway, but my sister's expecting, and as a baby shower gift, I wanted to make her like a little October Halloween quilt for the baby. but I don't know jack shit about sewing or whatnot, so I've been getting lessons in sewing and extra help from our neighbor upstairs on the seafloor. Miss Lily Longlegs. She's been helping me out greatly, but it's also why my fingers covered in bandages because I keep sticking myself. Though, looking at my fingers and the big sewing, the quilt making project that I've been undertaking, it actually reminds me of some old legends. There's a lot of old legends and old superstitions in this town of ours. They've written books on it. Books, poems. Haven't you ever read the poems? Or read the books? Haven't you heard any of the legends? Well, if you're okay with getting scared, I could tell you about one of the legends. A legend that actually pertains right in our very apartment complex. I think maybe even on our floor. You're in room 3B, right? You're literally my next door neighbor? I see. Well, there's a legend. Says, so you know that odd sort of little midsection between the floors with the electric fireplace and where the refreshments are and the little TV. Sort of kind of like a waiting room for people waiting for their friends to come out. You know that place? Well, legend has it that used to be apartment 13. Have you ever heard that legend? Well, I know that you haven't, but still, apartment 13. If you say it out loud, well, it's said that things will happen to you. And no one knows what kind of things, because no one stayed in apartment 13 long enough to tell about it. You still want to hear the story? Alright, but don't say I didn't warn you. Well, the legend says... No, it doesn't say sip, but legend has it. And keep in mind, this was way back in the day. Back when humans and monsters were still not at odds and ends with each other, but more so monsters were just figments, just legends, things you'd find in a book or depicted on TV or in a radio drama, things that did not have a real tangible pulse to them. This was back when, mothers would scare their children into behaving by warning them, oh, if you break those dishes, then the boogeyman's gonna get you, playing with matches, being very naughty, stealing, not eating your food or going to bed when you're supposed to, that kind of stuff. And when the apartment complex was built, going under the name of the Rose Apartments. Yes, really, I don't know why they named it that, but But, young woman moved in to the apartments, and the architect, very passionate figure, wanted 13 rooms on the second floor. And, well, given how much stigma and bad luck is tied to the number 13, aside from a baker's dozen, people didn't want to rent the apartment out, and they were scared that something might happen. And one day, this young woman, being a writer, a creative, weird-like type person, who her fondness was in the number 13, given all the things that she had read and the things that she had been accustomed to. And she decided, all right, I'll rent out the apartment. And she did. She stayed there for months and weeks, just happy as you please. She'd leave for work and she'd come home, and people all watched her, and nothing seemed to happen to her. She seemed fine and in good spirits and good health, but when autumn rolled around, then they noticed some changes. The young woman started looking a little more thinner. She started losing the color in her cheeks. "I'm fine," she said. "I'm fine. I'm just tired from work." Or, "I've been writing so much on this latest book that I haven't had a chance to go out in the sun." And she did her best to assuage the fears of her neighbors and her friends, but they knew something was wrong. And it was strange. The young woman, the writer, she would always grow foul-tempered and irritable whenever she was forced to leave. Whenever she had to go get groceries, there was like a gnawing hunger in her. And if anyone asked, and she was able to control her tongue, she'd say, I just need to get home. I need to write my book. I just need more time." Unfortunately. Well, that book that she was writing wasn't an ordinary book. In fact, many would say that it was a curse. And a curse it was upon her as revenge against her family. Who cursed her? The sources vary depending on who's asking, but the one that I've heard from the older wives is that far back in the young woman's lineage, there was a noblewoman who was engaged to marry a powerful sorcerer. She didn't love him, and as soon as she got the opportunity to, she eloped with her one true love, a gardener. And so the sorcerer, in his rage, he cursed the noblewoman and her family, saying that all that your maidens who take to the pen will die before they marry. And when someone did eventually try to go to the young writer to see how she was doing, they saw her writing at her typewriter and being drained of her life, the words that she had typed seeming to form this strange amalgamation of red and ink, a strange, twisted creature that morphed from being horrifically repulsive to alluring and ethereal. And the woman died at her typewriter before she could even finish the story. Legend says that once this apparition that this writer had created had taken its fill of her, it vanished off into the night, leaving the woman's body in tatters. Well, the body was buried. Cleric went over it, blessed the body, and they boarded up the room, apartment 13. And legend says that the woman's ghost still haunts it, trying to finish her story, but cursed forever with eternal writer's block. That and madness. But, Are you okay? Hey, it's okay. It's just a story. No one believes it's really true. Okay, maybe I am the exception. Look, how about I go and I get you some coffee at the cafe over there and a cinnamon bun? Does that sound good? All right. Follow me, human. I'm sorry for scaring you, by the way. Well, hey, I'm glad you enjoyed the story.